Like it's struggling up here. And also on the website, the pictures only have girls with straight hair. If it ain't your will, I don't want it. If it ain't your will, if it ain't your will, if it ain't your will, I don't want it. It makes sense of what I've been through. I know your promises always come. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video, I spent $80 on all 4 Tangle teasers, and we're gonna see which one, if any, is the best for type 4 hair. I'm actually super excited for this video because about a year and a half ago, I posted a video comparing the Tangle teaser to the unbrushed, and it went mega viral across all of my platforms. I'm talking millions of views. And one comment that I kept seeing over and over again is that I used the wrong Tangle teaser, so it wasn't actually a fair comparison. So apparently there are different Tangle teasers for your hair type and your hair needs. So I bought all 4 of them, and we're gonna see which one is better for my coily 4A, 4B hair. So if you wanna see which one is the winner, make sure if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button, put your notifications on so you don't miss any uploads. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram for daily content, and check out my hair care line if you're interested in getting some products to help promote growth. All right guys, let's get into it. Okay, so like I said, I spent about $82 on all of these Tangle teasers because I don't want to give anybody room to say anything if I don't like something. It's so weird. Whenever you're somebody that does reviews, whenever you like the product, nobody cares how the review is done. When you don't like the product, there's all these different criticisms about what you did wrong instead of just accepting that you don't like something on your hair because that's your opinion. So in this video, we're gonna make sure that we're locked in. All right, so if you've been in the loop about Tangle teasers since the beginning, you know that they used to only have detangling brushes that were just like the handheld versions. And so that's really why I never got into the Tangle teaser, because it's so hard to detangle your hair when you have to hold the brush like this. But then they came out with actual brushes that have the handles, and I think that's where the popularity started to increase more, but that could just be my opinion. Even though they have a lot of tools on their site, they only offer 4 different technologies for detangling. They have the handheld version of each of these, but I just decided to get the brush version with the handle because that's just what I wanted. So 3 of these I got in the larger size because I just prefer a larger brush. And each of these was $20.99, so $21 on their website. Don't think it's terrible. And then one of them I got in the regular size because the larger size just wasn't available. And that was $16.99 or about $17, which also I don't think is terrible. Honestly, if you can find a great detangling brush to make your life easier, I do think it's worth the investment, so I'm not really gonna harp too much on the price. All right, and for this video, just to make it super efficient, so I'm not like talking and doing the breakdown of each brush while I'm detangling, because that's annoying. I'm gonna go back and forth between clips you'll understand once you watch the video. But we're gonna go ahead and just section my hair and get my products in so that we can go ahead and move on to detangling. So y'all already know my usual detangling routine. If you want a detailed version of this, check out one of my wash day videos. I have a billion of them, so just close your eyes and pick one. All right, brought y'all closer. So go ahead and spray your hair with some water. That nice and coated. Have to go in with my deep hydration mask. I'm gonna coat my hair in this. Instant softness, love that for me. By the way, I've seen y'all commenting ever since I came back to social media that my hair has gotten so long. I'm telling you, 4 months of protective styling will always do you right. Then I'm gonna steam my hair. It's just gonna help my hair absorb that conditioner to make it super soft, so the detangling tool has no excuse. All right, then we're gonna add a little bit more conditioner just for good measure. Make sure my hair is saturated in product. Again, so there's no excuse that y'all can give me. All right, now hair is primed for detangling. Okay, so I'm gonna go in order from what I have the least hopes for to what I have the most hopes for. So the first brush we're gonna be trying is their straight to curly brush. So this is what it looks like up close. So it has a 2-tiered detangling technology. You see there's a row of shorter bristles and a row of taller bristles, and it alternates. So apparently these are regular flex bristles, which means they are flexible but not super flexible, which is apparently great for straight and wavy hair, not me. And the longer bristles detangle, remove knots, and reduce breakage. And then the shorter bristles smooth the hair cuticles for shiny, frizz-free hair. And you can use this on wet or dry hair. Obviously, we're gonna do wet. And it's supposed to be quick and effortless. and give you less breakage for smooth and healthy looking hair. So let's try it. All right, let's go. Wait a minute. Okay, wait, T. That actually worked very well. I don't know, maybe my hair was already pretty detangled. There was a little bit of resistance, but I mean, after like the first 2 tries, it's going through like nothing. Now, of course, when it comes to definition, the bottom of my hair is the loosest, so you can see there's some curl definition. But of course, this is where you get into the type 4 area. Yeah, it's not gonna get defined with a brush. Gotta add some of my essential hair oil, because we are gonna be deep conditioning with this, of course. Okay, I really thought I wasn't gonna like that, so I'm shocked that it was kind of giving. It really was. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so the next brush we have is their detangling brush for fine hair, which I also don't have. All right, so this is what it looks like, and as you can see, it has that same alternating long to short bristle pattern. The only difference is this one has softer bristles, and I definitely can feel that they are softer than the previous brush, which I guess is better for finer hair, and it's supposed to be gentle for fine and delicate hair. And again, it says the bristles are 20% softer, which again, I guess is better for fragile and fine hair. All right, also I'm noticing on the packaging, so of course you have the straight, the wavy, and the curly. There is another one for coily that it's not on here. So I'm going to assume, even though it doesn't say it, that this one is for straight to curly again, like the previous one, and not for our coily girls. And also on the website, the pictures only have girls with straight hair. All right, so like I said, this one has more flexible bristles, so, yeah, I don't know about this one. Eek. I think the bristles are too flexible, so I don't have as much resistance to pull through my hair. Ouch. Yeah, I don't like this one. Nope, nope, nope. The bristles are too flexible, so that one's gonna get a no from me. I also noticed it got more difficult when I got to this part of my hair, which is thicker than like the underneath bottom. So I don't think that that's great for the coily hair types, but let's try the next one. All right, next we have the extra gentle detangler. This is for the girlies that are prone to breakage. All right, now in the packaging, it doesn't have the curly or coily symbol. I don't know if that's just because they want to emphasize the breakage part, or if it truly is just for straight and wavy hair. But unfortunately, nowhere on the website does it say specifically what hair type this is for, which is kind of frustrating. As you can see for this one, it still has that alternating short, long bristle design, but it has way fewer bristles on it than any of the other brushes. And I guess that makes it, according to the box, extremely gentle and gives it less tension to minimize breakage. Apparently, also you may not be able to see it, while it has fewer bristles, it has a little bit more in the center, and they say that that is to help with detangling. But in general, the bristles are further spaced apart for less pulling and tugging. And I think this is also has a softer flexibility like the previous brush, which also will help with it being more gentle. So let's try this one. I feel like this one might work slightly. Actually, I don't know whether it's gonna work. It's either gonna work slightly better or slightly worse than the other one, because the only difference I honestly feel like is it has less bristles. So let's try. Yeah, this one is better because it has less bristles, but it's still struggling at the top where my hair is thicker. Like, look. Yeah, this is not gonna work. I just think the bristles are too flexible. There's not enough resistance to pull through my tighter hair. Like, it's struggling up here. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to finish the section with this, because it's actually starting to hurt. So this is gonna be a no for me. Well, that one was disappointing. At first I thought it was better than the previous one, because they both have those gentle bristles. but I think the other one is slightly better, but I think both of those are just not it. And finally, the one that I have the highest hopes for is the brush for curly and coily hair. As you see on the label, clearly has curly and coily. 3C to 4C. Now, obviously that's a red flag because 3C hair is very different than 4C hair. So lumping them into that category, especially with detangling, probably indicates that it's better for the higher end of that range and the lower end. That's just the way the industry works, unfortunately. If they gotta pick between curly and coily, they're gonna choose curly. But I do think that this one's gonna be all right. So this is what this brush looks like. I intentionally got each brush in different colors. That way there was a contrast between which brush is which. But I'm honestly not a huge fan of yellow. I just don't like bright colors. That's just a personal preference. But this one has the same 2-tiered design as all the other ones, but unlike the previous brush, it has more bristles like the other 2 brushes before that. And the level of flexibility actually on this one is firmer than all the other ones. So this one has the firmest bristles. So this is supposed to reduce hair breakage while detangling, enhances the curl pattern. Okay, I believe that when I see it. Doesn't really have any extra benefits. Like all the other brushes had at least 1 or 2 more extra things on here that it does. This one just kind of says the same as all the other ones, but okay. And of course on the website, this is who they get to represent us, you know, cool. And also can't forget her who doesn't even have 3C, so that's fun. But like I mentioned previously, the website says it has firm flex teeth for curly and coily hair. And yeah, so let's give this last one a shot. Yeah, T. This one is it. 100%, yeah. 100%. 110%. Look at that. I think because that brush, the bristles are the most firm, which means it's gonna push back against your curls or your coils and be able to go through them easier. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but if you have a tangle and the brush is trying to get through the tangle, but the bristle is super flexible, it's not gonna have enough resistance to push through the tangle. It's just gonna fall back and that's how the brush gets stuck. But when you have firmer bristles, they have that resistance. So even when the tangle pushes against the brush, it will continue to push forward through it. All right, so now I'm gonna go through the rest of my head with this brush and I'm just gonna play some music over it so y'all can see how it works on all the other parts of my hair. I wanted to do the test on the bottom of my hair because that is where my hair is the thickest, and if you have coily hair, if it works on the thicker parts, it'll 100% work on the looser parts. But yeah, I'm gonna finish detangling. Really shouldn't take me that long. And then I'm gonna give my final thoughts, even though I feel like they're pretty clear at this point. Detangling. So the front half of my hair took about 20 minutes, which I mean, that really isn't that bad. So let me go ahead and just show you guys how much shed hair. This brush pulled out. All right, this is about how much hair. That's totally normal. Like, this is barely anything. I haven't washed my hair in 2 weeks and I had a washing go in. This is a normal amount of shed hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit, deep condition, come back around, take the twist down, see how my hair is looking, and then we're gonna wrap up this video. Alrighty, so I sat under the dryer for a bit so my hair had time to absorb the product. So we're gonna go ahead and take down these twists. Hair feels super soft. Deep hydration mask is tea. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I thought this video was gonna turn out very differently than it did. I guess when I made that video before, I really was using the wrong brush because based on my experience with the Tangle Teezer back then, I didn't think that any of the brushes were gonna work. But thankfully, I was wrong. My hair really is getting longer. Just so you guys know, you won't really see a difference in the length of your hair for about 6 to 12 months. Just because you have shrinkage. So this is the first time I'm really noticing my hair length because I've been looking back lately at videos from about a year ago and I'm like, yeah, there is a huge difference. And all that means is that I know how to grow my hair. So when I tell you something in a video, it's because I know it's gonna work. All right, so hair looks great, feels great, and mainly it is detangled. All right, so we're gonna rank these brushes from my least favorite to my most favorite. So coming in at number 4 is the gentle detangling brush. Yeah, I didn't like this one. This is not type 4 friendly. The bristles are way too flexible and I thought that it was gonna be better because it doesn't have as many bristles, but I just think that made the problem worse. So I honestly would not recommend this one. I would not use this one again under any circumstances. It did nothing for me. Third is gonna be this one, which is for fine hair. I also think the bristles being softer and more flexible works against tighter hair. All right, then coming in at number 2, which actually surprised me, is the straight to curly detangling brush. I thought that this one was gonna be the worst one because it literally says straight to curly and I do not have straight through curly hair, but it actually was not that bad. Like if I lost all of my detangling brushes that I like and this was the only one that I could find and I had to do my hair, I wouldn't be freaking out. Like it really wouldn't be that bad. So yeah, this is actually very shocking. But of course, coming in at number 1 is the curly to coily brush. I think the reason why this works so well is number 1, it has a ton of bristles. And number 2, out of all the brushes, these bristles are the least flexible. And so it makes it easier to kind of comb through those coils. My only kind of issue with this one is that I wish they would put something on the handle that allows you to have more grip because this was very slippery as I was trying to detangle. My hands were covered in conditioner and with water like most coily girls are experiencing whenever they do their hair, especially if you detangle your hair in the shower. It's gonna be slippery. I kind of had to hold it up here at times and especially put my thumb at the back of it to kind of secure my hand on it. But other than that, I think that this one worked pretty well for my hair. So in conclusion, I feel like either one of these two would be a decent option, but if you are a coily girl, I would recommend this one over this one. So if you're interested in buying the Tangle Teezer, the curly to coily is going to be your best bet if you have tight hair. Like, all right guys, that's it for this video. That was actually pretty fun. I usually when I do is a type 4 friendly, I'm doing products, so it was nice to switch it up a bit and do some hair tools. So of course, comment any other hair tools that you would like me to try. I definitely think that would be a fun sort of change to how we do the series. And also let me know if you use the Tangle Teezer, and if so, which one of the 4 is your go-to. And I also think I'm going to be doing a video later on comparing this one to the unbrushed to truly see which one is the best detangling brush out there, because again, I was actually very surprised that I liked this one. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, put your notifications on so you don't miss any uploads. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram for daily content, and check out my hair care line if you're interested in getting some products to help promote growth. All right guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.